Hey everybody, today we're going to be doing a motorcycle training video, and we've been wanting to do a video that covers everything you need to know on how to ride a motorcycle in one video. And with the advent of these new GoPro batteries that they really last a long time, we can now do a video covering everything you need to know on how to ride a motorcycle. So let's talk about what we're going to cover in this video. Then we're going to get on the motorcycle and we're going to record this in first-person mode. We're going to talk about braking, shifting, the twisties, you know, going up in the mountains and the twisties. Also freeway driving. We're going to show you how to do this while we're on the bike. We're going to talk about what all the gauges do, and also we're going to talk about how to shift gears right here down below here. See right down below here the shifter. And we're going to talk about, let's go over on this side, braking. Traditionally on most Japanese bikes, when you're sitting on the motorcycle, the right side is braking. This is the front brake, and down here would be the rear brake. So what we're going to do is we're going to get on the motorcycle and let's show you how to do this. Once we get on, we're going to adjust the camera where it's facing up more, because when I lean forward like this when I get on the motorcycle, you're not going to be able to see it. So once I get on, I'm going to adjust the camera. But for now, what we want to do is put on the Monster Energy here backpack, and then I'll show you some stuff. I want to show you something here. This backpack has these clips. It's good to get a backpack, see where the camera's at here, yeah, with these clips. So when I put it over my shoulder, these clips are going to clip here. And see if you could see that. And because when you're going at high speeds, see how it's clipped together? It won't come apart. When you're going at high speeds, these straps on your back tend to pull off your shoulders. So it's good to get a backpack with those clips. Someone left a straw here, but I'm going to use this as a prop. Put the backpack on. Okay. Backpacks on. Let's show you some stuff. Let's talk about shifting first, then we'll get on the bike and ride. You want to find a place like this, like a giant parking lot. Traditionally, you could find Walmarts like this, but try to find one that's not as crowded. And we're going to show you how to start off riding a motorcycle. And all you got to remember is shifting is sort of like a ladder. You know how you have the first step of the ladder, then the second step, and then the third step. Where's the camera? Right here. And then the fourth step, and so forth and so on. 5 steps. This has 6 gears. So imagine there's a ladder. Look at that dog poster of the dog looking out the door right there. Can you see it? Make sure, by the way, this is on full screen. So when you're in gear and you want to shift up to second, you have first, neutral, second. Neutral is in between first and second. This is the part that confuses a lot of people. So if you do a slight tap up from first, you'll be in neutral. If you just kick up till you feel metal, you'll be in second. You got it? And you're always moving up and down this ladder as you're shifting. So to shift downward, you're going to put your foot on top of this little peg here, and you're going to kick down. To shift upward, you're going to move your foot like this and kick up with your toe here. So you'll go second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and then 5, 4, 3, 2, neutral, 1, like that. Over here, let's get on this side. Over here you have the throttle on the right. Traditionally on Japanese bikes, everything on the right is braking and going. So here's the throttle right here. Front brake, you'll squeeze that here, and then the rear brake, you're going to put your foot like this and then just push down with your toe for the rear brake. Okay, so now let's get on and let's practice. So this is where I'm going to adjust the camera. But I want to show you something. If you can see, let's adjust this camera up a little higher here. Can you see in the mirror here? Look at my helmet. So put this on full screen. You should see it right now. Hopefully you can see it. See this dark shade right here? there's a little lever in here where I can flip it and the shade goes up and hides into the helmet. You want to get a helmet like that where there's a built-in shade, okay? Let's adjust the... I guess we're going to still have it pointing down a bit so I can show you some stuff. There we go. Let's move the phone. So you want to have a built-in shade because when it gets nighttime, you don't want to have to change the shade to a clearer shade. So you could have one helmet for daytime, you just pull the shade up, there's a lever on the side, and for nighttime, you know, you pull the shade up, and when it gets real sunny, you just pull the shade back down. So let's look over here. Over here we have the throttle. This red switch here, notice there's an X here. I got it on the X. It's the battery power is off. We're going to flip that on right now. And now the battery power is going to the bike, but I haven't turned the key yet. This is the starter. When I turn the key and I press this with my thumb, the motorcycle will start up. Over here, right here, if you can kind of see through there, is the tachometer. You got the red line right here around 12,000. This is going to light up. This is going to be the speedometer here to the left of the tachometer. You have the key here. I don't know if you could see that. And then this is just a handlebar here on the left, right here. Doesn't do anything. You just hang on to it. These are the brights. These are the turn signals. So if I'm turning left, I'm going to push this left, and it'll continue to blink till I push in, okay? So now this here is the clutch lever. I'm going to pull this in and then shift into gear and go through the gears. So notice we're turning the key, it's coming to life. Let's show you some stuff here. I got to remember to move the camera up when we start to ride at a faster pace. So starter button's over here on the right. I just started it, give it a few revs. Always make sure you have your kickstand up. And here we go. So when you're new, oh, I almost forgot. See this right here, this little shock absorber thing going to the left. Notice as I turn, it keeps the turning of the handlebars smooth so I don't get any shaky handlebars at high speed. It helps to alleviate that shaking handlebar wobble, which can get you into trouble a lot. Car accidents. Okay, so what you want to do is, you can't really see it because we're in neutral right now. I don't know if you can see that light. This darn phone, I probably should take this up. You see the light over here? It says neutral. So what you're going to do is, I'm going to pull the clutch lever in here on the left, okay? And then notice there's nothing going on. I'm still in neutral, but if I pull the clutch lever in and kick down and hold the clutch lever, we're in first. What you want to do is do that, and then with the clutch still in, the clutch handle still in, slightly kick up, and notice I'm in neutral. You want to get in the habit of finding out how to go to neutral. Do that a bunch of times, back and forth, back and forth. Then now what you're going to do, you're in first, let the clutch out, watch how we start moving forward. Don't let it out all the way, I should say, just watch the clutch on the handle here, clutch lever, very slow, pull it back in, you'll hear it start to stall. And there's an area called the friction zone. You'll hear about this, called the friction zone. You want to find out where that friction zone is. Okay, so let's get on. We're not going to spend a lot of time with this amateur new stuff, but let's get on the freeway. Make sure the camera's right. How is this camera? That look good? See if I lean forward. Let's see. I want to make sure it's good because I better do it up just a little bit more because I am going to be leaning forward. Okay, camera is good and fast and tight. So what you want to do is go into first, slowly let the clutch lever out, give it a little throttle, slowly let the clutch lever out all the way. Now the clutch lever is all the way out. We're going to turn left here by this truck. So notice we're in first. Now what I want you to do is practice shifting into neutral. So watch how we're going to do that. We'll go this way. Pull the clutch lever in, release the throttle, slightly kick up, and notice I'm in neutral. Let's go over here because there's a car. Try to find a parking lot like this, but just pretend there's no cars. Notice we're in neutral, back into gear, slowly let the clutch out. Remember, I pull the clutch lever in and I kick down into first, so I'm in first. Slowly let the clutch out. All the way out, I'm in first again. We're going to turn around again. Just the camera. We're in first. And what you're going to do again is pop it into neutral. Remember, let go of the throttle, pull the clutch in, slightly kick up to neutral. Let's do braking. Now what you want to do is just do front brake for now. Slowly squeeze the front brake. The rule with braking is keep the handlebars perfectly straight. Get both legs ready to come down when you're new. See, we just stopped. It's not that hard. So we're going to do that again one more time, then we'll go out onto the streets, okay? So I don't know about this camera. Let's try that. That should be good. Clutch lever in, kick down, we're in first. Slowly let the clutch out while giving it a little bit of throttle. We're not giving it a lot of throttle here. So we're going to stop right by this tree right here, right in front of us. So here's how you're going to stop most of the time. We're in first, clutch lever in, don't put it in neutral this time, slowly squeeze the brake lever while holding the clutch lever in. Notice it's another way you can stop. You'll be stopping like that most of the time. Now we're stuck in first. If I want to take it out of first, I just tap up to neutral, but I can keep it in first, slowly give it some throttle. And now we're going to go a little bit more onto the braking. So braking, what's the rule? Keep your handlebars straight. There's a lot of weight when you're going to stop. If your handlebars are crooked, you're going to tip over. Keep the handlebars straight all time. Clutch in, we're still in first. Slowly squeeze the front brake. You want your left foot always to go down. One more braking. Well, actually, we can do braking out here. So what gear are we in? We're in first. This bike has 6 gears. Giving it a little bit of throttle. Clutch lever in. See how you could inch it forward. Here we go. Giving it throttle while letting the clutch out. Visor closed, because now we're going to have some strong wind. So let's show you how to go up to second. Release throttle, always release throttle. Clutch lever in, kick up to second, release clutch lever, your left hand, then roll back onto throttle. You always release the throttle when shifting. Now we're in second. If you slightly kick down from second, notice now we're in neutral. Now I'm going to go into first. Never go into first like I just did unless you're going real slow like this. So let's take you on the freeway. Freeway, believe it or not, it's pretty easy. Just don't, when you're new, just don't stay by each other. Dear Lord in heaven, do the sign of the cross always. Dear Lord in heaven, watch over. Okay, so I'm just kidding. Slightly kick down from second. Notice we're in neutral now. I may adjust this camera. Let's see. I may adjust it just, let's see, just a little bit higher. There we go. There we go. So let's see, we got it, because we're about to launch out onto the freeway. You ready for this? So now we're going to give it some good throttle. First gear, slowly let the clutch lever out. Now watch. Well, first let me do it slower. We're going to go through second. Release throttle, clutch in, kick up to second, release clutch lever, roll back onto throttle. Now let's go up to third. Release throttle, clutch lever in, kick up to third, release clutch lever. Get in front of the big semi. Still in third. Nice and cool. Clutch lever in, kick up to fourth. Remember, here's the steps. Release the throttle. You're not giving any throttle. Then you're going to clutch lever in, kick up or down into what gear you want. Release the clutch lever, your left hand. Then and only then do you roll back onto throttle. Now, if you're going downhill at a fast speed, you don't need to roll back onto throttle, obviously, because you're trying to stop. Like when you're downshifting, So let's show you how we get off this off-ramp here. So what you're going to do, remember, you want to always keep your handlebars straight. So what I do is, see the corners coming up to the right. Don't hug the right corner right here. Don't hug it. I go from left, and then now I'm going to move into the corner like that. Nice and smooth. See how we did that? Nice and smooth. I'm downshifting now. Never ever put your front brake on going around a corner. I'm slightly hitting the rear brake. I'm not hitting the front. Now I'm hitting the front as I'm straight. Always keep your handlebars straight. Never put your front brake on going around a corner, because you got two little patches of rubber on this motorcycle, and if you're putting the front brake on, that's going to loosen up some of the friction from one of those patches. Now you're down to like 1.5 patches. So now let's show you how we do counter steering. Okay, release throttle, clutch lever in, kick up to second. Then roll back onto the throttle. Watch. Now we're going to go to third. Release throttle, clutch lever in, kick up to third, release clutch lever on the left handlebar, roll back onto throttle. Now, watch this. How do you stop? We're in third. You're always going to be going up and down that ladder we talked about. So I'm just coasting now. Now I've downshifted to second. I'm giving it a little bit of throttle because I don't want to go too slow. The light's probably going to turn green before I have to downshift again. Notice still red, still red. Come on. Okay, figures, right, when I'm about to take it out of gear. So I'm still in second. All right, here we go. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you counter steering now. You must learn counter steering or you're going to crash and possibly die. What counter steering is this. It's called counter steering because you're basically moving the handlebars in the opposite direction of the way the bike is going to lean. Don't let it confuse you. I'm going to show you. Now watch, downshift to second. So I'm going to show you after this light turns green, and we're going to go up into the twisties now. Now, let's show you. And what's really good is no one's in front of us, so we can really get on it a little bit more. If I pull back towards me on the left handlebar, it's actually going to lean the bike to the right, and I'm going to go to the right. Watch, on the count of 2. 1, 2. Notice, we're moving to the right. If I pull back on the right handlebar over here, it's going to lean it to the left on the count of 2. 1, 2. Now you're going to do that through the corner, except you're going to hold pressure there. Not a lot of pressure, just practice going on a street like this and pulling to the left handlebar and pulling to the right handlebar. You know, don't do this if there's cops behind you because they're going to think you're drunk or something. But practice. Pull back on the left, you go to the right. Pull back on the right, you go to the left. So now we're going to do it through a real corner. You cannot just lean through these corners. You have to learn counter steering. So I'm going to show you why you need to learn counter steering. You just can't lean it because the bike weighs so much that you can manipulate the weight. You can shift the weight off to the right here. So we've got a corner to the right. On the count of 2, I'm going to pull back on the left. Watch that yellow line. Not yet. We haven't got there yet. Here it comes. So here comes the corner up here. We're going to go to the right. Count of 2, we're going to pull back on the left. I'll tell you when. Here comes the corner. Watch. 1, 2. Holding it steady. Notice holding it. If you see it start to straighten up, you can pull it again. Now we're going to go to the left. Pull back on the right on 1. 1. There you go. Pull back on the left here on 1. 1. And that's how you do it. Very simple. Pull back on the right on 1. 1. Here we go. So we're going to upshift. Now at the bottom of this hill, we're going to have to brake coming down from a fast speed. So I'm going to show you how to do that. You're just slowly going to go down the ladder as you're approaching. You're going to pull back on the right here. Just a slight pull back here, notice. And another one here. Here's a good way to explain braking. You don't brake like where you just jam the brakes on. It's very similar to a car. If you want to brake coming to a stop in a car, you notice how you slowly, smoothly put the brake down. You don't just hit the brake all the way because you're going to like skid, right? And on a motorcycle, that's doubly dangerous because you could get hit from behind if you stop too suddenly. And even if you have anti-lock brakes on your motorcycle. So what you want to do, imagine you're holding an orange in your hand and you're slowly squeezing the orange. The more pressure you start to give, the more tension will go to your front and rear wheel as you're applying the front brake and the rear brake. Okay? So now let's get back into counter steering, and then we're going to show you how we brake. We're spending a little more time, big ol' hole there, on counter steering because it's so important. Back to Moto Madness, the YouTube channel Moto Madness in a moment. But right here you have a lot of counter steering. On 2, we're going to pull back on the right. 1, 2. A lot of it right there. And you see these guys on Moto Madness YouTube channel. I don't get anything for telling you about that. I don't own the channel, but it's a great channel to see a lot of crashes so you could learn why these guys crash. And a lot of them because they don't know how to counter steer, or they're new riders, and they're used to leaning around the corner because you can lean at lower speeds. Like, watch, I'm going to slow down here. This corner here, I'm just going to lean it. But as you're approaching speeds at corners at faster speeds, I should say, then it doesn't really help to lean it because the bike weighs so much you're not going to be able to lean it. So let's do front and rear brake. Downshifting, starting to squeeze the front brake just a little. Downshifting. Now I'm into second. Now I'm into neutral. Watch what I'm doing here. My foot hasn't come down yet. Now I'm in first, and now I'm rolling back on the throttle. We didn't even have to put our foot down on that. All right, let's let them get some distance. We're going to approach this corner at a faster clip for counter steering. Notice 30 miles per hour. Ready, go. Okay, the corner's going to the right. See how the guy's putting his brake on? We're going to pull back on the left on 2. 1, 2. That's a strong one there. We got another one here. I'm going to stay on the outside on 2. 1, 2. Now I'm going to pull on the inside there. Pull back. I'm actually pulling back on the right handlebar. That's leaning me to the left. Upshifting. So if you go to Moto Madness, you'll notice there's these guys going around a corner, and they're going, and you'll see them kind of trailing to the right. They're trailing to the right, and then they just go off into a ditch, and you're like, they could have made that corner. Why didn't they make the corner? Well, they're leaning it, and as they're trying to lean it, they're going at such a high rate of speed that the weight of the bike is lifting them up, and what they need to do is pull back hard on the right to turn into it, but they do not know how to do counter steering. All right, so now what we're going to do, we're going to go back at a more advanced clip. I'm going to show you, got a train up here. I'm going to show you the sharpest corner ever in history. I've never seen a corner this sharp that I'm about to show you after this train. It's on the right side of the train. And then we're going to come back at a more advanced clip. I think that train's going to make the railroad tracks go down unless I can beat it there. I see the train track right here. It looks like I might be able to make it, but I got to slow down. Now this train track is problematic because it really makes you fly off the motorcycle. Now it's a sharp corner to the right. I'm downshifting. We're going to play it safe and wait for the train to go by. Downshifting, downshifting. I'm kind of glad that the arm came down anyways, because these tracks really mess up my bike. They like knocked me all over the place. While we're waiting, and this will be a short wait because there's only two of the engines. Here's how you shift. Number 1, let go of the throttle on the right. Number 2, pull the gear shift lever on the left. In, right here. You're going to pull this in. Number 3, you're going to kick to the gear you want. And then number 4, you're going to let the clutch lever out. First gear's different. You slowly give it throttle while letting the clutch lever out on the left. We're going to go very slow here. This is very bad. Ugh. Okay, let's get to that sharpest corner I was telling you about. Got a really good counter steering up here to the left. So let's test you. If you're going to counter steer, you're going to go to the left up here. What are you going to do with the handlebars? See the sign here, this yellow sign? What are you going to do? You're going to pull back on the right towards you here, right here. There you go. That's what you're going to do. Got another one coming up. Here's one to the right, so you're going to pull back to the right here. Real strong. Right there. You pull back on the left, I should say. So what I did is I pulled back on the left, and that leaned me into the corner to the right. Now we have one here, which is a very slow corner, so you don't really want to counter steer. This is like 25 miles per hour, so I just kind of putt around this one. Here's the sharpest corner ever in history. Check it out. 15 miles per hour. So what I'm going to try to do is go around and see if I can go back and catch that guy on the sport bike. So we're going to mirror him on the sport bike. We got a lot of gravel here. Be careful in this gravel stuff. Here we go. So we're going to go to more advanced pace, see if we can catch up with the sport bike guy. So notice I like to stay on the outside and then move in on the inside. It is problematic. You want to be careful of these other cars coming through here because they cut the lane. So, excuse me, my allergies. The motorcycle guy is right in front of this other car, and he's taking the path that we want back. So he is gone way up there. If I can catch up. So notice when you learn counter steering, this is why you see these guys going up on the twisties. It's a lot of fun. You notice how I'm just kind of flying through here. I'm not braking or anything. Where did that guy go? Well, he's taking the path that we're going, so it does let me pass up here. So after these horrible railroad tracks, I'm going to pass. You know, maybe if I take this at a faster speed, it won't mess up my motorcycle as much. Let's see. It seemed better. So I think I saw the other guy. What we're trying to do is mirror him as he goes through the twisties to see how he's doing it. Oh, what a nice guy. I think when I was saying mirrored, they were thinking that I wanted them to move out of the way, but whatever worked. Is that him? No, that's a different bike. There's one road here I really like when you're going through this bunch of trees. You'll see it as we go through it. It's like a tree tunnel. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go up through those mountains like we did before. Now, here's some counter steering here, slightly, but see, we're at a faster clip. So what we're going to do is pull back on the left, right there, just a slight pull back. That guy's like gone. Must have really gotten on it. So we have some counter steering here on the right. We're going to pull back on the left. Watch the corner as you're going through it to see when it ends. Always follow that corner through. Pulling back on the right here, I should say. Stop sign. Coming up. So check out how I stop. So I start to coast. We're still moving. Then I downshift because I'm going to have to be in first anyways, right? Downshift again. Downshift, downshift, downshift. We're in first. Go. And second. Third. Fourth. Here's the little tree tunnel thing. So the reason why you see a lot of guys up in the mountains like Arrowhead, Big Bear, over here in California, they've got Arrowhead, Big Bear. It's great because you can kind of hone your skills, you know, going through the twisties, and you'll be surprised pretty soon you can approach these corners at a pretty good clip without braking. You can just like go through it. Pulling back here on the left, that leans it to the right. Also, let's talk about what type of motorcycle you should get. Always get a motorcycle based on where you're going to ride it. Don't get one based on what someone should tell you what you should get. If you're going to be riding in a very windy area, you're probably going to want a motorcycle that's, hey, there's the motorcycle dude. Let's go through here. Great, he's going that way. My luck. But you want a motorcycle based on where you're going to ride it. Like, this is a great bike for the twisties. I rode a Ninja 300 and a Ninja 250, and it was a blast. It's so fun coming through these twisties. So if you live in an area like this, that's a great bike for these types of roads. What's good about the leader bike is you just have power on tap. I'm not even using like literally 5% of the power this bike has, so it's really good for the highways. So we'll get on the highways and I'll show you. It's got really good pickup. And now we're going through the twisties. They do allow passing on part of this. So we're going to take this at a more advanced pace. This is where we're getting into the counter steering, okay? So, by the way, we're in neutral. I am so sorry about my allergies. Got the sniffles big time. These summer weeds don't help. So notice, let's go through the gears here. First gear. I'll let it wind out like casual driving, 4,000 or 5,000. Second gear, like right around 5,000 RPMs. If I'm casually driving, I'll shift there. Notice almost at 5,000 RPMs, shift. Third. Now we'll give it some throttle. still in third. It's at 6,000 RPMs. We'll upshift to fourth. You could pass here, but there's cars on the other side, so we'll just kick back. Another thing too that's great about Leader Bike, or at least a 600, if I was going to get a motorcycle, I would, if I was going to be doing freeways a lot, I would get a 600, because it seems like it's just enough power to do everything that you need, and you could hang on to the 600 for the rest of your life. You get like a 250 or 300, I think eventually you're going to get tired of it. You're going to want something with more power. Unless you live in like a very congested area where you're not really able to get up there, like let's say Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles, or New York, like a kind of like an urban area. Okay, so notice everyone's putt-putting along, so I'll downshift. I like to keep that motor tight. I want it to always be kind of tight where if I watch, give it a little throttle, notice we're already moving. I don't want it to be bogged down where I give it throttle and nothing happens. I always want a little bit of tightness to it. You know, everyone's different. What I do is when I'm downshifting, if I'm coming to a stop, I start downshifting at 3,000 RPMs. So you can't probably tell, but we're starting to go downhill. So what you'll do, you'll notice I'm now barely giving it any throttle, but we're still kind of moving. We're at 3,000 RPMs. If I'm going downhill, I'll just upshift. Now we're at 3,500 RPMs at 45 miles per hour. If we were going faster, see this arrow here? I would pull back like this on the right on 1, 2. Pull back on the right, and that'll lean it to the left. See, at slower speeds, you can get away from it. We're going about 50 right now. We're just kind of coasting, not even really having to give it throttle. And then we'll end this, we'll get on the freeway, but we covered braking. Remember, never put your front brake on going around a corner. Always keep the handlebars straight. We talked about counter steering. If you pull back on the left, you'll go into the right. You'll lean your bike to the right. If you want to go to left corner, pull back on the right, you'll lean into the left. We talked about shifting. It's like a ladder, how you step up and down a ladder. You got those two guys are on a Grom. It's upshift again. You got 6 gear at the top, 5, 4, 3, 2, neutral first. Remember, you got neutral is this finger here, and then first is this finger here. First is the pinky. Where's the camera at? First is the pinky, neutral, second, third, fourth. So you're always moving through first. If I was in first and I just kicked up all the way, like not a light kick, but just up, I'll hit metal and I'm in second. If I do a slight kick up, and it takes a while to get used to how to do it, just a slight kick, I'll be in neutral. So we're going to show you how we get on the freeway here if you're getting on an on-ramp, and then we'll end with the freeway. Downshifting. Downshifting. It's a green arrow. Let's see if it keeps it green. Awesome. Downshifting. I'm not braking. Throw it over here to the right. So I'm in second. I could tell by the way it sounds. I'll keep it in second. It's at about 4,500 RPMs at 40 miles per hour. We're going to keep it at second, and then watch. We're going to show you why leader bikes are really fun to have on the freeway. Oh my goodness, just people are like stopping. Maybe not. Second. Still second. We're at 60. Third gear. Fourth gear. That's what's good. See, you're in fourth gear and you're still able to be on the freeway with power on tap. I'm only at 6,000 RPMs. I go up another gear
I'm now at 5,000 RPMs. Go up another gear. Seems like you keep having these gears. It's great. I'm in 6th gear on the freeway and it's under 5,000 RPMs. Now on a 600, you'll be like 8,000 RPMs. You know, it whines like a stuck pig. So God bless you guys. Thanks for watching. Remember, keep your handlebar straight when you're coming to a stop. Remember the gear shift pattern we told you. We talked a little bit about gear. This is a mesh jacket with holes in it. So it's very, very cool. It's got CE armor in it. So when I'm riding, the air is actually coming through it. You get gloves. These are Tai Chi. Look for them on eBay. I love these gloves. They're not expensive. They look cool. Like I have a black and white motorcycle, so I like the style. They're leather. They have the knuckle protectors right here. It's great. You can get a RAM mount, RAM. This is a RAM mount for your cell phone. So let's say you want to flip on your GPS. You can flip on the GPS and it'll tell you where to go without you having to like have it streaming through your Bluetooth on your ear. And then of course we talked, I don't know if you can see this, the drop down visor. I don't know if we talked about that. Yeah, we did. I remember the start of the video. You get that drop down visor. I'm wearing a One Storm helmet, the number 1 and then Storm helmet. They're great helmets. It's modular, so it flips up. So God bless you guys. Have a great week and ride like the wind. Remember, 4 wheels may move the body, but 2 moves the soul.